Recently, I was invited to a social gathering where I only knew one person out of 8 people. Some of you may know that I used to live in New Zealand for 8 years, and looking back on my time over there, I would always struggle to communicate with a group of people at once in a place. Then I thought it would be a great opportunity to test my hypothesis, which was I may be able to talk to people in Japan because this is my home country and I had been an introvert because I was in New Zealand. So I attended this event and ended up speaking probably 15 to 20 minutes in a total of 7 hours. For me, it's such progress that I could even talk to people that I met for the first time, and I was happy to be in the environment listening to others for hours. Also, I could experience tasting stuffed crust pizza for the first time in my life, and I enjoyed every bite of it while I wasn't talking to others. Anyway, my hypothesis was completely wrong, and this proved to me that I'm an official introvert anywhere I go, and no matter what language I speak. I think a lot, but I don't say much. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we live in a world where extroverted quality tends to be preferred over introverted quality. The norms of modern life encourage extroversion. We are led to believe that we should always be busy and work our asses off in school or at work because the feeling of unproductivity makes us feel worthless in the capitalist society. And when we do get free time, it feels like we are encouraged to fill our evenings and weekends with social activities and then share what we do on social media. We are told that quiet is boring and loud is fun. But I strongly disagree with this statement and believe that introverts have many benefits and strengths that allow us to shine in this world. So in this video, I would like to discuss the 3 strengths of being an introvert. 1. Deep thinking. One common thing that I notice when talking to other introverts is that we tend to think about things deeply, especially when it comes to reflecting on the experiences that we've had and exploring different future scenarios so that we can identify what needs to be done right now. I believe introverts spend more time executing it than extroverts. Ever since I could remember, deep thinking has always been a part of me. When I hit puberty and it became difficult to control my emotions at the age of 14, I wasn't behaving nicely to my family for a month, and I believe I hurt them quite a bit, especially in this period of time. However, what ultimately got me out of the situation was deep thinking. One day, I sat in my room and suddenly, the thought of, what if my family dies tomorrow? Aren't I going to regret the fact that I couldn't be kind to them? Aren't I gonna regret that I couldn't say thank you and I love you in front of their faces? These rather bizarre thoughts came to me because of my deep thinking habit, and that's how I could apologize to my family for how I was behaving to them for a month. I'm not gonna lie, overthinking comes with dangers, and I used to feel worried, stressed, and anxious about my present life situation or future many times. But because of having experienced all kinds of thoughts from positive to negative in my head, I could reflect on each of them and understand where my thoughts came from, as well as understanding myself as a whole. Deep thinking has always helped me align with my values, beliefs, and who I would like to truly become from the bottom of my heart. 2. Observation. To acquire knowledge, one must study, but to acquire wisdom, one must observe. As an introvert, I've spent a significant amount of time observing people around me and external things that have happened to me in life. I feel like I have made a lot of my life decisions through observation. For instance, I made a decision to leave Japan to study abroad in New Zealand at the age of 15. When I was in school in Japan, I never understood why I had to look up to others just because they're older than me. I never understood why I had to use keigo, which is a polite way of speaking Japanese, to others who acted better than me just because of their age. I always respected others because of who they were and not because of their age, what social status they held, because for me, respect should be earned and not given automatically. I was studying hard in school, but I didn't think most of the subjects that I was studying would be useful when I started working, because I wasn't interested in using science or physics for my future career, as an example. When I told my parents about studying abroad in New Zealand, they were initially against my idea because they thought that Japanese education was important, which I did not disagree with. However, I told them that I didn't think I would get much out of the education that I was receiving, where I was just memorizing for the sake of getting high scores in tests and exams, instead of just aimlessly learning things without thinking about my life in the long term. I wanted to learn English, which I already knew was going to be useful for the rest of my life. Also, I told my parents that I always felt that I took Japan for granted, and I tended to see the negative aspects of Japanese culture. By removing myself from living in Japan, I thought that I would be able to see positive aspects of Japanese culture that I would never be able to find out by staying in the country. Then my idea was kindly accepted by my parents. In order to experience a different culture, lifestyle, and learn English that I believed was going to deepen my life in many ways, I decided to leave Japan at the age of 15, but this decision came from a lot of observation that I had done growing up in Japan. 3. Finding self-awareness. Because I've always loved observing in my whole life, I've become better at listening to others as well as my own thoughts and perspectives. Simultaneously, deep thinking has allowed me to question my beliefs, opinions, and perspectives, which helped me find self-awareness. I have a philosophy that if I wanted to gain knowledge of technology, I would try learning from people who are passionate about it. If I wanted to be a good parent, I would look for people who are raising or have raised their kids to live strongly in this rather chaotic and challenging world. In my way of thinking, no one is better than the others just because of their age or what kind of jobs they have. I don't take advice from others just because they're older than me, as I mentioned before. Sorry I went off track, but one day I wanted to learn to be happy and understand the meaning of happiness. So I applied my philosophy here and decided to learn from people who seemed quite content with themselves, and for me, it was about religion. Then I was particularly interested in Buddhism. Growing up in Japan and New Zealand, I always believed that I never had any influence from religion, but as I did some research, I figured that the way I was raised in Japan involved a lot of teaching from Buddhism. A disciplined mind brings happiness. Then I began learning the importance of focusing on my inner self rather than external things. This practice gave me the strength to develop self-awareness, and I identified that happiness does not come from outside. It always happens within myself. It was a bit ironic that I spent many years trying to find happiness elsewhere, but in fact, it has always been within me since the day I came into this world. I've discovered a lot about myself in life through finding self-awareness, and I would like to keep focusing on myself because life is full of opportunities for learning on a daily basis, and I'm aware that personal growth is what makes my life interesting and entertaining. I find comfort in quiet places, and when I write my perspectives and opinions on different topics that I'm interested in on paper, I feel really content and relaxed. I've always believed that there's a way to express myself without trying to become someone else, and I'm grateful that I came across YouTube where I can be creative and show the world what I truly care about in a calm approach that suits my personality. The more content that I upload, the more certain that I become that being an introvert has a lot of strengths, including what I mentioned in this video. I think that introverts tends to be misunderstood by society because how we express ourselves is yet to be common in the world that seems to favor extroversion. However, if introverts like me keep expressing the way we would like, despite the challenges of the current societal situation, I believe we would be able to make a huge difference in the future, and society will recognize more and more of the power in which the way introverts contribute to society. And together, we will be able to completely change the societal perception of quiet from boring to extraordinary. That's the end of the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up because when you hit the like button, the YouTube algorithm helps my channel grow and reach people who are interested in the topics that I discuss on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing, and I will keep striving to create videos that are worth your time. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!